6th session. Pretty soon, in 3 months, we'll be making our 1 year anniversary. We have had 55 guest speakers so far, 49 past members. A past member basically means people who were part of AHF and recently landed on jobs and moved on to bigger and better things. And we are 1,300 plus members on LinkedIn and counting. And we have members joining from all around, from like Pakistan. You see Anik, who's from Pakistan, joining right now. And then we have Ollie, who is in somewhere in Europe, I forget, Belgium, if I'm not mistaken. And then a few folks from Netherlands, UK, etc., and Africa and such. So a little bit about my story. My story is, I think only a few, maybe one person on this call may know some things that have happened in my life. So my life is a little non-traditional, especially for an immigrant. So I immigrated from India. Our whole family immigrated to the United States, and then shortly after immigrating to the United States, within 6 or 9 months, I joined the United States Army. So I was pretty fresh off the boat and decided to serve. I only wanted to do 2 years and then wound up doing 21. So I've done a lot in my life. I've been deployed several times to Iraq and Afghanistan, and my field of service in the United States Army was combat arms. So I was a field artilleryman. I was enlisted first, and then I switched over to the dark side as an officer. And both times I was a field artillery enlisted person, and then as an officer. And actually, this is the fellow I was talking about. This is the close friend of mine who committed suicide, and I served with him in New York City. And we were recruiters, and I just drew this picture of me being a saint and these guys being devils. But just a funny picture that I'd drawn up at that time. And obviously, this is me in Iraq, a lot of combat missions. So every day I was outside the wire leading my troops. And this is me working with the local police and getting things straightened up out there. This is me in the great state of Texas. They pride themselves as the tallest Capitol building, taller than the Capitol. I do not know if that's true, but you know how Texans are very proud of their state. And this is me swearing in uh, one of my soldiers at the Capitol, where the speaker sits. And this is actually, I did not know that this picture was in this slide deck, but this is actually this guy right here who committed suicide. I am taking his body to Arlington Cemetery. This was quite a humbling moment because whenever we take a body in an airline, um, the pilot typically stops all traffic for people to disembark from the plane until the coffin or the service member has been removed from the plane. And that's just out of respect and duty. And we render a salute when that coffin goes in and when that coffin comes out. So Delta is pretty good at it. They have a team that is dedicated to just that particular service. So props up to them. My father, this is my brother, myself, this is my son doing some crazy stuff. This is me in Abu Dhabi, UAE. I conducted a multi-million dollar project in Abu Dhabi, UAE, close to Dubai. Really fun stuff. Um, and this is my retirement ceremony. My mother was there. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story, so you can understand all the trauma that I've had and why I do what I do, and my beliefs, and some things that have kind of kept me grounded in life, not to harm myself or not to harm other people. And so it's going to be quite, um, I would say, strong conversations that you may hear. So, not for the fickle minded or if you have a thin skin. So, brace for impact. If you are not ready, I would say jump off the call. So a little bit about me. This is my mother and my wife in Pakistan. I love to fly fish, so I'm part of this nonprofit
Uh,
called Project Healing Borders.
I have a meeting maybe in half an hour.
Please put
Yeah,
yourself on mute. Thank you.
he's ready. Yeah.
So, um, this is my brother, his husband right here, and this is our Christmas photograph. This is one of my daughters, my son, my father and I, and this is my youngest daughter. Um, so I love to cook. I pride myself on cooking anything from sushi to Jamaican oxtails. And it's my so-called Zen. Whenever I have a rough day at work, I usually cook because that helps me kind of relax and de-stress. A little bit about my career. So I joined in 1996 as a U.S. Army Field Artillery Surveyor, worked as an armorer. I've done some pretty cool stuff that people think do not exist, things that do not exist, but they really exist. I was a joint interrogation facility manager in Kandahar, Afghanistan, where they interrogated bad people, worked with the CIA, NSA, all those three-letter abbreviations, acronyms. And then I worked in New York City right after 9/11. So I reported to New York City about a few days after 9/11. And I was on airborne status, so I have a lot of back problems and neck problems because I jumped out of perfectly good planes for a living. I switched over to the dark side. This is observer controller trainer, basically lasing targets, calling for fire from either artillery or from fixed wing aircrafts to take out bad people or bad things from this planet. I commanded 132 soldiers as a commander, and then I retired. And after I retired, I got into technology, and quite a funny story. We were deployed in Kuwait, of all places, and we were creating target packets on bad people and bad things. And very late at night, I was working like 16-hour days, um, and it was in a very top secret environment. Um, Developing these packets in Kuwait and dropping bombs and removing bad people, bad things in Syria, in Afghanistan, and in Iraq. And very late at night, my boss's boss came to me and he said, Danny, hey, you're Indian, right? You should know all about computers, right? And I said, no, I do not know anything about computers, but I'm willing to learn. And guess what? I made lemonade from lemons, and he sent me to all the IT classes I wanted to go to. So I got certified in A plus, Network plus, Security plus, while my buddies were going and working 16-hour days. I was busy going to school. So it's just a story, sometimes you have to learn to make lemonade from lemons, and make something good come out of possibly bad things, right? So that's how I got into technology, and then I've stayed in technology since then. I worked for a company called CompuCom, got promoted very quickly to a senior service delivery manager. Then I was heading the director of IT operations for a small global company. And then I worked as an IT auditor at a financial company, and now I'm working at another financial company. So, the moral of the story is, what am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to tell you that, um, regardless of what life throws at you, and I want to also open up some other dark wounds. I have lost everything in my life. I have, I have had a home with clothes and things and washers and dryers and all of that good stuff that a typical home would have. I've had money in the bank, and I've lost it all. And I lived in my car in a Lowe's parking lot. Uh, and I'm very loyal to Lowe's because I look at Lowe's as they're the ones who gave me shelter when I did not have any. So I was homeless, and I was at my rock bottom. And when I wanted to do bad things to myself or to someone else, I refrained. And I wasn't a Christian when I immigrated, or where I was brought up, or anything of that sort. And then I converted to Christianity, got saved, and all. And I really believe that my belief, my foundation of my faith, was the one that protected me when times were hard, when I was at my rock bottom, when I lost everything, when all that I had was a car to sleep in, and the clothes on my back, or my uniforms that I was going. And it was actually during my time as a commander that this all happened, right? I was commanding 132 soldiers, and none of my soldiers knew I was homeless. No one knew that I'd lost everything. They thought, oh, this is my commander, right? This is Captain Kateli. And no one knew that. Only very few people who were very close to me, some friends who basically gave me shelter, let me stay in their home for a few days and a few weeks here and there, fed me and that kind of stuff. I was able to survive. And you talk about PTSD, it's really bad, right? When you go through all of that stuff. So my faith is the thing that kept me alive. It gave me hope. It showed me that there is something better, and you will have more than what you had before, and more than what you can imagine. And if I'd given up in my life, I would not have seen that. And I was very quick to give up on my life. So the moral of the story is I've been very blessed that I'm very persistent and resilient with life, with all the bad things that come through. When I was at Equitable, I had a terrible boss. I had a boss who would not even say good morning or hello to me. Can you imagine a boss when you go up to him, you say, "Hey, good morning, boss," hello, and they don't say anything back to you? And all these ups and downs of life, right? So just stay persistent, stay resilient, hang in there. And I was like, man, how am I going to hang in there? I cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. But good thing I did not give up, because I'm so much happier over here, right? I was in hell over here. I was in hell over here. Not many officers get to command. Just because you're a officer does not mean you can become a commander. Becoming a commander is a privilege, not a right. And I got that privilege, but I went through a very dark storm. I went through a hurricane, a tornado, an earthquake, a volcano, all at once. And I was homeless. I took a shower at the gym because I did not have any water, right? Um, so and yeah, it was a tough life. But over here, I um, I have a boss who likes to joke, who likes to crack jokes, and I'm like, man, this is like night and day from hell to heaven. And then when I finished up hell out here, I went back and went into heaven. And I have a boss who I still stay in touch with. And he was the best boss. He just let me do whatever I wanted him to do as long as it made him look good. And I did make him look good, and he was happy. He would just let me do whatever I wanted to do. So hang in there. Whatever you got going on in your life, hang in there. This too shall pass. All good things and bad things have to end. So if you're in a bad situation, remember that there's good coming around the back, around, um, and it will come. And I have other things, other traumas that I've been through that I've not shared with you, but I have faith that it will be okay. And those people who I miss and I love will come around. Because as long as you do the hard right over the easy wrong, when no one is looking, it will come around. And at least before you die, um, I promise you. So the wisdom I'm trying to give you is don't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up. And I'm a big fan of humility. I'm far from humble myself, because humility is very hard to achieve. Um, and it is the root of all the good that we do. If you are truly humble, you will work harder. If you are truly humble, you will put yourself last, not second, not third, not first. You'll put yourself last. If you're truly humble, we live in a life where you say YOLO, you only live life once, right? And that's a trend in our current culture, and that's not the life I want to live. I'm very eager to meet my maker, because that's where my true place is. But while I'm on this planet, I will work hard. I will put myself last. I will put others first, my wife, my children, my mother, all within reason. But yeah. Um, and then so just try to be humble, and if you are, and sometimes you have to just I have said sorry to people who where I was not wrong to do anything, and that's humility, right? You just have to say sorry. So what if you did not do anything wrong? Be the first one to say sorry, and be the first one to say, ask for forgiveness, regardless if you were right or wrong. And it will truly change your attitude, and it will bring happiness in your life. And you'll feel a sense of peace in your heart. And quite often, when I do that at work, and people say, why are you saying sorry? You did not do anything wrong. It's just the way I want to live my life. Because the other way is you could think you are right, but in reality, you could have offended them in thought, word, or deed. And then that is a slippery slope. Um, so that's what I wanted to share with you all. Why I do what I do. I'm avid. I love to volunteer. I love to help people. Some people do not want to be helped. I get that. I have fed the homeless in, they call it uptown in Charlotte. They don't call it downtown in Charlotte. So I've fed the homeless, and you see these homeless people who are just very happy being homeless. And I get it. Um, and that's the same with people looking for jobs. They say they want a job, but they don't are not working hard towards it or don't want it desperately, right? But my job is not to judge them. My job is to give them whatever I have and let them be the deciders of what they want to do. It's like giving $20 to a beggar, knowing that they may use it for alcohol or drugs. It's not your call to say that's what they're going to do. You know, it's your job to just give it to them. It's their job to do what they want to do with that $20 or $5 or whatever. So I learned that very late in my life. Someone who was very wealthy actually taught me that understanding and that mindset. And so, what if those drugs bring them happiness? Because that's what they need right now. And I was not understanding that mindset. A lot of wisdom out there, you know, and it's taken me a long time to get there. And I always ask God, like, why am I learning this so late in my life? I wish I'd learned this when I was in my 20s or 30s. Imagine the amount of impact or help I could have done if I'd learned it then. But all have our phases in our life, and this is my phase of learning and the voila moment and the epiphanies that I'm having. Maybe in my mind, I would not have accepted those epiphanies at that age, at that young age. So I wasn't ripe for accepting it at that time. Maybe that's the reason. So I hope I've impacted you all. I hope I've shedded some wisdom to you all. I hope you can not hold on to that wisdom, but give it, pass it out, and keep that fire going on. Sometimes when you go through some rough turmoils, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, the tornadoes all at once, that wisdom goes out of the door, right? It's like screw that. I'm like, it's firefighting mode. But hang in there. Hold on to the wisdom. Stay true to your foundation, your baseline, whatever that is. Stay true to that, so that way, yeah, you can hang in there. So we'll stop the recording.